Hey guys, Jason Hitchings here with Adept Defense. So I've got a new pistol in front of me courtesy of Retro Firearms in Petoskey, Michigan, and this is one I've been excited to get my hands on and get some time behind it for about the past year now. So let's jump right in and take a look at it. Alright guys, what we have here is the CZ P-10C, and this gun has been super popular since it came out, and I've seen a lot of them go through classes, and I have not heard anybody say anything bad about these guns. Everybody seems to love them. They're kind of the new hotness in the striker-fired polymer frame world right now. So as you can see, when you open up the box, you've got the firearm, you've got two magazines, you've got interchangeable back strap depending on hand size, you've got a cleaning brush, and then a rod for patches to be able to clean the bore out. So before we talk about the P-10C, let's talk about CZ a little bit. CZ has been known for making really nice single action, double action, single action, and basically hammer fired guns. CZ also owns Dan Wesson, which Dan Wesson is probably, arguably one of the nicest production 1911 companies without getting into like the fully custom like the Wilson Combat or the Nighthawk. And the P-10C is CZ's entry into the polymer frame striker fire defensive pistol market. And by the looks of it, they did a great job, and they actually listened to what shooters had to say and what shooters are requesting right now in the industry. This particular version is the suppressor ready version, which has the threaded barrel from the factory, and it also has the suppressor height night sights on it. So it's got a little bit of a taller sight. So if you do run a suppressor on this gun, you can still get a sight picture over top of the can. The P-10C is a 4-inch barreled, 15 round capacity double stack gun. This one's a little bit different because it's the suppressor ready version, so it's got a 4.5-inch barrel because of the threaded. And the suppressor ready version also comes with the +2 base pads on the magazines. So these are actually 17 plus 1, so you get an 18 round gun out of the box with this one. So this pistol will be a direct competitor to the Glock 19 or the Smith & Wesson M&P M2.0 Compact. And there's a couple things that I noticed right away about this gun that those guns don't offer. So let's talk about some features of this. From the factory, this one has forward cocking serrations, and it actually has usable cocking serrations. They're deep enough and they're aggressive enough that you're not just going to slip off from them. And to be able to come forward to the ejection port and do a press check with these forward cocking serrations that are actually usable on this gun, I think that's one of those situations where CZ was listening to what shooters want. It's got steel night sights right from the factory. It has tritium vials in the rear, and then it has a white outline tritium vial for the front sight, which gets you a pretty decent sight picture. It lets you focus on that front sight, being that that's outlined in the white to where the rears are not. So I do like this design of sight right out of the box. It has a ambi slide stop slide release and then a mag release on both sides, so you don't have to reverse it like you do on the other pistols. There's two things that really jumped out at me the first time I handled that. The first thing I noticed was the grip texture. On the back strap and the front strap area, it has really nice aggressive texturing, and then it's not quite as aggressive on the side panels. It's more, similar to a Gen 4 style Glock. It's got the square raised, but on the front strap and on the back strap, it's quite a bit more aggressive on this, which I like. So when you're carrying this and the side panel of the grip is up against your body, you're not going to have a super abrasive surface rubbing up against the skin if you're not wearing an undershirt. But yet, when you grip this gun to shoot it, you still have really good traction on the front and the back of this. And I think they kind of got that design, being that they've been in the 1911 market for quite a while. The nicer 1911s have really aggressive checkering on the back strap or the mainspring housing, and then also on the front strap, and then changeable grip panels on the side. So I think they kind of carried that theory over from the 1911 market into the striker fire market, and I think that was a really nice design. The other thing that I noticed right away when I first handled this gun in the store was the trigger pull on this. This probably has the best out-of-the-box factory trigger pull of any striker fire polymer framed defensive pistol in this market. See if I can get this on camera here. It has your typical take-up, and then it has a very short very crisp, really nice trigger break. And then when we reset it, it has a really short, audible, tactile reset on it. And it feels lighter than, say, like a Glock or an M&P style trigger. So I do have my trigger pull gauge here, and we can get a couple readings on it and see if I'm right about that. But it feels shorter, crisper, and lighter than most striker fire guns. Alright, that was 3 pounds, 15.2 ounces. Let's take another one. That was 4 pounds, 0.6 ounces. Let's do one more. Three pounds, 12.7 ounces, which gives us an average of 3 pounds, 14.8 ounces. So we are just under a 4-pound trigger pull out of the box with a striker fire polymer frame pistol. I mean, that you can't ask for a better trigger than that. And if you know me, or if you followed my channel at all, you know that in my Glocks I usually put a agency arms trigger, which gets you from that 5.5 or 6 pound mark down to a 4 pound mark. So this is exactly what I look for in a trigger. This pistol also has an accessory rail on the front of it, which I would expect it to have to compete in the market that it's in. So you can easily snap on a Surefire X300. That's my weapon light of choice. They just came out with their new 1000 lumen version, which I think 1000 lumens in a pistol light is pretty awesome. So I picked up one of those right away. I'll do a little bit more testing with these before I come out with a video, but this would most likely be the configuration that I would carry it in. Another thing I noticed about this gun that I really liked a lot is it has a low bore axis, meaning that you can get your hand really up high on the gun to be able to control that recoil when you shoot it. And the gun just feels really good in your hand. You know, I'm a big fan of this gun just handling it, but we'll take it to the range here and see how it shoots. Alright guys, at the range, CZ P-10C, first rounds through it. I'm pretty excited for this one. Let's see if it shoots. It does shoot. Alright, first mag impressions. The first thing that jumped out running through that first mag is the trigger. The trigger on this thing is awesome for an out-of-the-box stock gun. They knocked it out of the park with this trigger. The second thing that I really liked is the grip texture was really good. The gun felt really stable in my hand. I can get really up high on this gun to where I have good recoil control. The recoil impulse felt really nice on it. The sights returned back to zero, right back on target every time, which allowed me to run the trigger at a pretty decent cadence. The sights are nice. I do like the sights on this gun. One thing that concerned me a little bit out of the box when I was handling this gun for the first few times and just doing some dry fire reps with it, I did notice that the slide stop slide release, let's see if I can get this on camera here, when you've got an empty gun and it's locked back, it takes quite a bit of effort to manipulate and drop that slide to the home position. It's gotten a little bit better just with that mag shooting it. It's not quite as stiff as it was, but one thing I noticed with it, and this is one thing I do with Glocks and M&Ps, when I perform an emergency slide lock reload, I will ride my thumb right on top of that, just kind of hover it on top, and then when I seat my mag, the pressure or the shock from me seating that mag will manipulate that lever and it'll send the slide home and put the next round into battery. And I am pleased to find out that it works really well on this too. So if I just hover my thumb on that slide stop lever, come up and seat a mag, the slide went right home. And as you can see, if we press check this, we do have a round in the chamber. So enough talking for right now. Let's get back to shooting this thing. So this gun does a great job of just settling right back on target. After that shot, I mean, the slide closes and those sights are lined right back up already, and you're allowed to shoot this thing pretty fast, especially with as good a trigger as this has. Alright, we backed it up to about 30 yards to do a little bit of distance work with this. Let's see how we do at 30 yards. Alright, between the nice sights that are on this gun and the really nice smooth short trigger on this thing, it's really easy to shoot at distance. I mean, this is a great gun. Alright, we've backed it all the way up to 50 yards. Let's see how it shoots here. Alright, not bad. As long as I had a good sight alignment when that trigger broke, I was getting pretty consistent hits on that silhouette at 50 yards. Alright, so I got a chance to get well over 100 rounds through this gun today, and I am incredibly impressed. I mean, for an out-of-the-box stock gun, this thing shoots every bit as well as my highly customized guns that I'm, used to running on a daily basis. For a stock gun, the trigger is amazing. It has really good sights on it. It has forward cocking serrations, and the only thing that I was a little bit leery about at first was the fact that that slide stop, slide release lever was a little bit hard to release with your thumb on a dry gun. And after, just over 100 rounds, I mean, this thing, it actually broke into where it's really easy to manipulate now. And even if you do it left-handed, still really easy to manipulate. So that broke in nicely, and I have no concern or no issue with that now. So that smoothed itself out right away, and this gun definitely gets the nod of approval for me. I absolutely really like this gun. And for CZ's entry into the striker fire market, I think they knocked it out of the park with the P-10C. So if you are interested in this gun, or any other gun for that matter, check out Retro Firearms in Petoskey, Michigan. Stop in the store, call, check out their website, and they will do their best to get you any gun that you want. And after getting some time with it, I mean, I feel really good about recommending this gun as an option to my friends or my students. So big thanks to Retro Firearms for providing this gun for us for testing and evaluation. And I am Jason Hitchings with Adept Defense. Seek training, become adept, and I'll see you in the next video.